What if you were the first person on Mars? Imagine waking up not to the sun rising over Earth's blue sky, but to the soft reddish dust of Mars glowing through your dome. There's no birdsong, no wind rustling through trees, only the hum of your life support system and the knowledge that you're completely alone on another planet. But you're not scared. You're the first person on Mars. Welcome to a new episode of What If, where today we ask, what if you were the first person on Mars? Would you be able to survive the harsh alien world? Could you build a home, grow food, and maybe, just maybe, prepare the planet for the future of humankind? Let's find out. It all begins with a single moment, a countdown not just to liftoff, but to a new chapter in human history. You're strapped into your seat, heart pounding beneath layers of flight suit and pressure gear. Outside the thick titanium walls of your spacecraft, the launch pad trembles with anticipation. Around the world, millions are watching, holding their breath. But only you know what it feels like to be here, the first human being to ever attempt a journey to Mars. This isn't just another space flight. This is a one-way ticket, for now, across 225 million kilometers, about 140 million miles of empty space. It's a voyage that will last 7 months, filled with risk, sacrifice, and moments of wonder. And if anything goes wrong, well, there's no quick return. This isn't the moon. This is Mars. Unforgiving, distant, and indifferent to your survival. Before the launch, you spent years preparing. Psychological resilience became as important as engineering knowledge. You trained for isolation in remote Antarctic bases. You spent weeks inside underwater habitats, rehearsing repairs and drills under pressure. You even lived in mock Mars habitats in the desert, eating dehydrated meals and timing every bathroom break. Now, as the engines ignite and your ship roars into the sky, there's no turning back. Earth quickly fades behind you, shrinking to a blue marble suspended in the void. You're part of something greater than yourself. NASA has targeted 2033 for the first crewed mission to Mars, but private players like SpaceX are already pushing the timeline forward. You're living in an age where dreams are being built not on paper, but in launch pads and labs across the world. And then, Mars appears. At first, just a dull red speck. But day by day, it grows into a whole world. Unlike the Earth's vivid blues and whites, Mars looks ancient and scarred, like a forgotten warrior from a distant past. You can make out valleys, volcanoes, dust storms, features that tell a story older than humanity itself. Your spacecraft enters Mars' orbit. Now comes the most dangerous part, the descent. Mars's atmosphere is incredibly thin, just 1% the density of Earth's. That makes braking incredibly difficult. If you hit it too fast, you'll burn up. Too slow, and you'll bounce off into space. To survive, your capsule relies on a complex ballet of technology, a heat shield to absorb the initial impact, supersonic parachutes to slow the descent, and retro rockets to cushion the final moments. Everything is pre-programmed, but that doesn't make it less terrifying. One software glitch, one hardware failure, and it's over. The capsule shakes violently as you slice into the atmosphere. Temperatures rise, alarms blare, and you feel the G-forces pin you to your seat. The red dust of Mars swirls outside the window like smoke in a desert storm. Your parachutes deploy with a jolt. You grip the armrests, counting down. 10, 9, 8, touchdown. The landing legs hit the Martian surface with a solid thud. You made it! For a moment, there's silence. Then, "Congratulations," says Mission Control in your ear. "You are the first human to set foot on Mars." You sit in stunned silence, hands trembling. You peer out the window. The Martian landscape stretches to the horizon in every direction, red, rocky, and desolate. You see no signs of life, no greenery, no clouds, just an alien world. And it's yours to explore. But there's no time to bask in the moment. Every second counts. You begin running post-landing checks, hull integrity, life support, communications. One last glance at Earth's direction, then you suit up. The airlock hisses. The hatch opens. You step down onto the surface, slowly, deliberately. Your boots sink slightly into the rust-colored dust. With your first step, a new era begins. Not just for you, but for all of humanity. And yet, despite the grandeur of this moment, your mind is already racing ahead. You know that surviving here will require more than courage. It will require innovation, teamwork, and endurance. You may have made history by arriving, but now the real mission begins. Building a future on Mars. You've made history just by landing, but now comes the real challenge, staying alive. The red sands of Mars stretch out before you like a vast, unwelcoming desert. There are no trees to cut down, no rivers to fish from, no neighbors to call for help. You are 140 million miles from Earth, in an environment that is as hostile as it is magnificent. Survival isn't about bravery, it's about preparation. And it starts with building your home. But you won't be laying bricks or swinging a hammer. That job? Already done, by robots. Months before your arrival, robotic construction crews, autonomous machines equipped with drills, arms, and 3D printing technology, landed at your designated site. Their mission? To assemble the very first Martian outpost, a compact base designed for function, not comfort. These machines worked tirelessly in the extreme cold, through swirling dust storms and harsh radiation, building your shelter from the regolith beneath their wheels. The base they built for you stands like a science fiction dream come true. Roughly 12 meters tall and 5 meters wide, about the size of a small 2-story house, it's a pressurized, multi-level structure made from composite materials and layers of radiation-shielding polymers. Not exactly roomy, but it's enough. Enough to protect you, enough to survive. You'll be sharing this space with 5 other pioneers, a hand-picked crew of scientists, engineers, medical experts, and survival specialists. Every one of you trained for years. Every one of you knows how much is at stake. In here, every square inch matters. There's no room for waste, no luxury, no privacy. Your sleeping quarters? Smaller than a walk-in closet. Your toilet? A vacuum system in a sealed pod. Your showers? Probably once a week, and they're more like sponge baths. But it works. That's what matters. Every part of the base is designed with one word in mind. Efficiency. Solar panels and small nuclear reactors provide continuous energy. CO2 scrubbers clean your air. Insulated layers and thermal regulators protect you from external temperatures that can plunge to 100 degrees C, 73 degrees C, overnight. A thin membrane on the outer layer reflects harmful solar radiation. Your indoor environment is carefully regulated to mimic Earth-like conditions, oxygen levels, humidity, pressure, controlled by dozens of fail-safes and backups. But why here? Why this spot on Mars? Location, as they say, is everything. You're near the polar regions, where massive underground ice reserves lie beneath the surface. This ice is your lifeline. You can't bring enough water from Earth. It's far too heavy and bulky. So, instead, you'll extract Martian ice using heated probes and melt it in insulated containers. That water will be used for drinking, cooking, bathing, and most critically, for creating oxygen through a process called electrolysis, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. And then there's recycling. On Mars, nothing is wasted. Water is used, filtered, and reused again and again. Wastewater from washing and even bodily fluids is processed, purified, and returned to your life support system. It might sound unpleasant, but up here, it's a miracle of engineering. Every drop counts. The same goes for oxygen and carbon dioxide. You're constantly exhaling CO2 into the sealed habitat. Without removal, it becomes lethal. Special machines scrub the air, isolate the carbon dioxide, and feed it into systems that can use it, sometimes to grow plants, sometimes to experiment with fuel production. Your breath becomes part of the habitat's ecosystem. But beyond the basics of air and water, there's something more ambitious happening: using the planet itself. Mars might look barren, but its soil, called regolith, holds potential. Scientists have found that it may contain iron oxides, sulfur compounds, magnesium, and even trace minerals. These resources might one day allow you to manufacture parts, tools, or even entire structures without shipping everything from Earth. Imagine using Martian dust to 3D print replacement valves for your life support system, or extracting metals from the soil to build additional shelters or research stations. This is what scientists call in situ resource utilization, or ISRU. It's a long-term vision, but one that could make Mars not just habitable, but self-sustaining. Then there's the greenhouse, small but vital. Using hydroponics and artificial lighting, it's your first step toward growing food on another world. Seeds brought from Earth are planted in simulated soil mixtures, enhanced with nutrients. You've built a home on it, and one day, future explorers, maybe even settlers, will walk through your base and say, "This is where it began." Forget everything you know about normal. On Mars, daily life is a constant negotiation with survival. Every breath you take is artificial. Every step you make is calculated. Every calorie, every drop of water, every scrap of material, it all has to be managed with precision and care. This is not a vacation. It's not even camping. You on Mars is life on the edge of what's possible. Let's start with gravity. Mars only has 1/3 of Earth's gravity, which means everything feels lighter, including you. If you weigh 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh just 37 pounds here. That might sound fun at first, floating around effortlessly, bounding in long leaps like an Olympic athlete. But your body doesn't see it as fun. It sees it as a problem. Your muscles start to weaken, your bones lose density, your heart doesn't have to work as hard to pump blood upward, and over time, that can take a toll on your cardiovascular system. That's why daily exercise is non-negotiable. 2 hours a day, at least. Not optional. Inside your base, you'll use specialized resistance machines and treadmill harnesses to simulate gravity's pull and maintain your physical health. You'll track your progress with sensors and health monitors. You'll push yourself even when you're tired, especially when you're tired. Because if you don't stay strong, Mars will break you. And outside? Well, that's where things get even tougher. Stepping outside the habitat requires more than just courage. It requires armor. Your extravehicular mobility unit, your spacesuit, isn't just clothing. It's a life support system, a miniature spacecraft wrapped around your body. Why? Because Mars wants to kill you. The average temperature here can dip as low as 80 degrees Celsius, not your 62 degrees, and sometimes even colder at night. There's no breathable air, and the atmosphere, such as it is, offers almost no protection from solar radiation and cosmic rays. Without Earth's magnetic field, you're exposed. That means your suit must protect you from both the cold and the invisible bombardment of particles from space that can increase your cancer risk with every passing day. So no, you won't be going for sunset hikes or scenic drives in a rover. Most of your time will be spent indoors, or in short, highly regulated outdoor excursions. And those excursions aren't for fun. They're for science, engineering, and survival. You'll walk across the Martian surface to gather rock samples for geological analysis. You'll inspect exterior systems, clean solar panels, and troubleshoot equipment. You'll test the atmosphere for changes in pressure and composition. Every experiment, every data point could change how we understand Mars and whether future generations will be able to live here permanently. But perhaps your most critical mission, the one that truly determines whether a permanent presence on Mars is possible, is something far more humble: farming. Yes, you came all this way to be a gardener,